Yo, what up? This is your boy Guru back with another video about our light tanks. We continue our story. Yesterday we did the T50 light tank, and I demonstrated to you the equipment and the kind of crew skills that you need as a beginner, as a new player to light tanks. And I forgot to mention this thing about gun rammers. Now, I installed gun rammer in the T50 even though it only took 1.9 seconds for this gun to reload, which means you don't really actually need to run a gun rammer, because gun rammer only improves your aim time by 10%, which means it was going to improve my aim time just a fraction of a second, which isn't going to make much of a difference. So today I'm going to continue with part 2 of this video, and I'm going to do it in the Chafee instead. I did mention the Chafee yesterday, so I'm going to do the Chafee today. And instead of using a gun rammer, I'm going to use the vents instead, because the gun rammer only improves your aim time slightly. If I use the gun rammer, my aim time wouldn't be 4.13, my reload time wouldn't be 4.13 seconds, it would be 3.8 seconds. So I'm going to be saving about only 3/10 of a second if I use the rammer. So I decided to run vents instead and let my reload time increase just 1/3 of a second, 4.13 seconds, which is not going to make much of a difference. I'm still going to run vertical stabilizers. This helps with the aiming and accuracy, and I'm going to run the binocular telescope as I did with the T50 to simulate like a beginner kind of tank, someone new to this game, someone, you know, trying their hand in light tanks. And I've also got a 1.5 skill crew, basically a brand new crew, as most new players would have if they were playing light tanks for the first time. So I've got basically concealment as my first skill for all my tanks except for my commander, which I have a sixth sense, of course, which is most important because you do need to know when you are spotted. The rest of them have concealment skills, and if it's a gunner, I'm going to have like a gun handling skill, a driver skill. If I have smooth ride, is like really good if for aiming on the move. So basically 1.5 skill crew, and essentially the same setup as yesterday, except I'm going to use improved ventilation instead of the gun rammer. So let's go check it out. Alright, so I got 2 replays for you here today. One is in Mines North Spawn, and this is a pretty straightforward kind of map. The other replay I have for you is in Kharkov, and that is a tier 6 matchup, so that is a kind of like falls into the category of a more difficult game than this. This is a pretty straightforward game. When you're in this kind of position, you need to recognize what you can do and how you can take advantage of it. But first, before I carry on, let me talk about, please subscribe to this channel if you've not subscribed yet. Turn on your notifications, especially if you're here for the mod pack videos, and please give this video a like if you have learned something or picked up something useful from this channel. It helps out my channel a lot, and let me thank you in advance for it. So anyway, what I was saying about mines, this map was pretty straightforward. When you are in a light tank, it doesn't mean that you are incapable or you have to sit back and snipe or you have to hide in the bush all the time. The reason why I wanted to show you this this map was because this was an opportunity that you needed to recognize straight away. As soon as you spawn into a map like this and you look at the lineup, it looks like it's a 10v10, all tier 5s. You are on equal footing with most of your enemy teams. You shouldn't be afraid of them. You can penetrate most of them. If you couldn't, you can use premium shells. It shouldn't be a problem. You are a tier 5 matchup, and this is like, you need to recognize this kind of opportunities that come along where you can be aggressive, where you can take advantage of your view range, where you can take advantage of your camouflage. Now here I wish I had my gun rammer instead of my vents. Obviously if I had gun rammer on, I would reload like 1/3 of a second quicker, which means I could fire a lot sooner. But if you think about it, I might not have been this accurate if I didn't have the vents on. The vents do help with accuracy, so it's a trade-off, right? Do you want more accuracy or do you want a faster firing gun? Now, as you can see, all my shots from this distance that I was shooting at those guys, every one of those shots hit. So that is the advantages of running a vents in your tank instead of a rammer. Now I don't need a rammer because it reloads under 5 seconds anyway. So the reason why I'm showing you this this game is because, like I said, you need to recognize these opportunities where you can be aggressive, where you can put yourself out there. Look at the game, it's already 7-1. If you were sitting behind in the bush waiting for opportunity, your opportunity might not have come, your opportunity might have gone. I was even willing to take a hit from this guy just so that I could get a shot on him and finish him off. Look at that, it's already 9-1. I think there was 13 in this game or something like that. So if I wasn't aggressive, I wouldn't have got as much damage as I have, and I wouldn't have earned so much. Look at that shot. Now that was a long distance away and I missed that shot, but I still came out on top in this game because I recognized that it was an opportunity for me to be aggressive. Now, not all games are like this. In fact, a lot of games, I played about 6 games in this tank, in this account, and I had 2 like really good games, and the rest of them were like mediocre games. There are a lot of mediocre games, especially if you're matched up against higher tiers like tier 6s and tier 7 matchmakers, where it is almost impossible for you to be aggressive, for you to be doing a lot of shit early on in the game. So you need to recognize those kind of situations where you can be aggressive and you can put yourself out there. Now the next game is in Kharkov. We are spawned in the north. This is a tier 6 match up. I am one of 2 light tanks. The other light tank is this guy over here. He doesn't even have camo. So I decided to go all the way down to the west side where it's super dangerous. I don't really want to go there, but there is no other light tank besides me and this guy. So it's either me and him or no one else. So somebody's got to do it. So I decided that I will go. But then I look at this guy. He looks like he's going there. So I don't really need to. It doesn't need to be 2 of us out there, right? So I decide to sit back and chill in the bush and try to be a supporting sniper instead. Now this pays off for me in the end because it worked out. Obviously this is a good game and I did quite well in this game. So this is exactly what I wanted to show you in situations like this where you are bottom tier, you don't have any armor, you can't match up with your enemy tanks. You might as well just sit back, wait for your time, bide your time, look for the opportunities. Now, as you can see, the enemy teams sent their Type 64 out there. The Type 64 is not a joke tank, it is a really good tank. That is why a lot of people play it. Ever since the light tank apocalypse from patch 9 point whatever, a lot of light tanks, in fact all the light tanks from the tech trees, they got nerfed, but premium light tanks did not get nerfed. So Type 64s back then were used to be like so tanks. In tier 6 matchups, in tier 6 tournaments, in tier 6 team battles, you always ran the T-37 back then. But after the apocalypse, the Type 64 was a lot better than the T-37 American light tank. In fact, it was the best light tank in tier 6, which is why it is still being, a lot of people still play these tanks, this tank nowadays. When all the light tanks got nerfed, this light tank did not get nerfed. In fact, all the premium light tanks did not get nerfed. So all the light tanks that were the premium light tanks that were pre-apocalypse light tanks, like the AMX 1357, the Type 64, the Type 64, and a bunch of other light tanks that were born before the light tank apocalypse, they didn't get nerfed. So eventually, so in essence, they got buffed, which is why they are so strong light tanks. So I'm sitting in the bush here waiting for my opportunity. I don't want to push it, I don't want to rush it. It looks like the eastern side are holding out quite well. We're not definitively winning or anything like that. We're only leading by 1 tank. But it doesn't look like we are losing the other side, so we are not pressed for time. We are not in a rush to make anything happen quickly. So me, as you know, in a bottom tier light tank, I can bide my time, pay attention to the map, what's going on, look at the map, look at what's happening with the light tank. The light tank, obviously the wheel tank already dead, but fortunately enough, this Cromwell in our team took up the job of the light tank, which he should, because the Cromwell is a very competitive medium tank slash light tank. It can play the role of a light tank because it is a very strong medium tank that can pick up the role of a light tank. So kudos to that guy. If it weren't for that Cromwell over there, it would probably have meant that I would have had to go there and face those kind of tanks. Now you saw there's a P43 there, which is a really strong tank. I couldn't take a hit from that tank. A Type 64 Chinese light tank, it would have easily melted me if I had tried to go up there and try to face him. So it's a good job that the Cromwell took up that responsibility on the western side of the flank. And here you go, the enemy is pushing, so we have enough tanks here to keep them at bay. And here you go, aggressive push here. Now what am I doing here? I am trying to track this guy, so I'm always trying to shoot for the track. And there you go, I've tracked him once, he's repaired, I'm gonna track him again, and I did manage to get some damage as well as a track shot there. There you go, another track shot on the other side of the track. Keeping your enemies track, aiming for the track is one of the skills that you need to learn, whether you're in a light tank, medium tank or heavy tank. So here we go, we've trapped this guy, he's got nowhere to go, and he gave up all his HP for nothing. He tried to kill the Cromwell, maybe he did, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. We have destroyed one of the aggressive tanks on the western flank. But look at this Tech 64, he knows exactly what to do. As soon as his team's pushed, he's taken a lower ground and he's closing the distance. Obviously there's going to be some tanks that are going to be supporting him, sniping from the back, so I'm going to run away instead. And what I'm going to do is go down to the dip here and hide in a bush and wait for him to emerge. And I've loaded some HE shells for him so that I can get more damage out of each shot if I penetrate. So I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to wait for him to show up. There he is, and I'm going to shoot the side of his turret, and that's exactly what I wanted, a penetrating shot from the HE. And there you go, he's gone. And now the only tank left there is that T-67. That is a very dangerous tank, but it is a dangerous tank only when it's sniping from a distance and sniping from a bush. So what I'm going to do is expect him to rush forward, and that's exactly what he did. Now I'm holding my shot here, waiting for him to drop into the dip before I shoot him. Why? Because I don't want to give him time to run away. You look at him, it takes him a long time to turn his tank around and try to run away. And before he can run away, I finished him off also with my HE shells. I carried, I think, 5, 6, 7 HE shells in this tank, and they served me very well there. And now I think I'm going to switch to the APCR shells. Now you don't be shy when you're bottom tier. When you are bottom tier in a tier 6, tier 7 matchmaker game, don't be shy to use APCR because you need to pen those guys. Whoa. I get one shot, but I don't finish him off, so I'm going to see if I can get another shot on him. Oh my goodness, I took a hit there for nothing, and I did not penetrate him. So I'm going to make my second shot, finally kill him, but then he got a second shot onto me. I wasted, I took 200 HP of damage for no reason. But I hope this game has showed you the potential of basically a very stock Chafee that I'm driving in with 1.5 skill crew. Basically all I have is camouflage skills, binocular telescope. I've replaced my gun rammer to vents instead of the gun rammer because this helps with the aiming. And I'm showing you the two situations that you can completely make full use of your very low spec Chafee. Although it is not the most OP competitive tier 5 light tank out there today, but it is still very manageable and still very useful. The two games that I wanted to show you, the first one in Mines, where you could be very aggressive and do a lot of damage and earn a lot of XP and rank up that way, just by recognizing that it was the great opportunity for you to be aggressive. Now what am I doing here? I'm trying to be very, very safe here. I'm making sure that my binocular telescopes turn on before I move forward and go to the next bush and try to spot again. Why? Because there is a PZ4H that is still not spotted. He could be out here waiting for me, and that is a very formidable medium German tank that could easily destroy me with 1 or 2 shots. So I need to be very careful. I've already done a lot of damage. I've already helped my team out here immensely by destroying that P43 and by destroying that T67. Basically helped my team to win the western flank. I don't want to throw it all away for no reason, dying to that PZ4H, right? So as I was saying, I played 5 games in this tank, in this account, and 2 of them were like really good games that I can show you the potential of this tank if you just play by the rules, not too aggressive, especially in very stocked Chafee like that I have right now with 1.5 skill crew. You don't want to be very aggressive, but you need to recognize the times when you can be aggressive, and that way you build up your confidence, build up your experience, train your crew up slowly, gain experience, gain confidence in this tank, and get better and better in light tank gameplay. So not all the games are going to be great. Like I said, not all the games are going to be as great as these 2 games that I have. A lot of them are going to be very boring games, very low scoring games, but sometimes you can do really well. But stick to the rules, play by the rules, you know, get your damage, and there you go. I hope you learned something from this light tank gameplay that I wanted to show you guys if you are new into this game. I hope you enjoyed some insight into this play style, and I hope you learned something from these past 2 videos that I made for you yesterday and today. Thanks for watching again, and please smash that like button if you made it right to the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.